Welcome to another special Hornbill TV Explainer, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Al Nguli. Chaos and panicked citizens across India right in the new year. Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Haryana, Madhya Pradesh, Punjab, West Bengal and several other states, with a threat that it might reach Northeast and of course Nagaland too. Thousands of people in some of the biggest states in the country are crowding petrol pumps and outlets. What is the reason? They are fearful of an impending shortage of petrol and diesel. Truckers, taxis, and the drivers and owners and transportations across the country have launched a nationwide strike in the new year against a new law of the central government. By the looks of it, the strike looks like one that really wants the government to really worry about, ladies and gentlemen. The visuals are astounding. Chaos as hundreds and thousands of people crowding petrol depots to fill up their tanks. It all started in Mumbai when truckers and transporters refused to supply fuel on Monday. In Maharashtra, numerous motorists jam-packing fuel pumps and stations to fill up their tanks, fearing a shortage of fuel. This created a lot of hangama in the news space. Reports on Tuesday said more than 70% of approximately 1.20 lakh transporters and containers and commercial transporters in Mumbai remain off the roads on Monday. The 3-day strike is likely to impact the distribution of fuel and heat vegetables and fruit supplies in the coming days. That's why the panic. In Madhya Pradesh, transport unions claim that around 10,000 private buses, trucks and taxis did not run on Monday. This severely affected public transport in the state. In several districts such as Indore, Balakhat, Ujjain, Ratlam and Bhopal, long queues of vehicles packed fuel stations as supplies started drying up. At Dhar, drivers parked their trucks on the Mumbai-Agra highway and stopped private vehicles from going further. Reports say that at another location, Panna, bus and truck drivers blocked National Highway 39. The state's commercial city came to a halt on Monday, the first day of New Year, after drivers offloading vehicles, especially tankers, taxi and bus, went on a nationwide strike opposing the new provision that has been set by the government of India of 7 lakh rupees penalty and 10-year imprisonment in hit and run cases if they are prosecuted. The strike led to a crisis of petrol, diesel and CNG supply at fuel stations. This created panic among people. Now visuals show long queues outside fuel stations, and panic buying by citizens just worsened the situation, and the panic continues. Drivers of heavy vehicles, including commercial transporters, including fuel tankers, they all protested at different locations across the states. Reports said pictures and messages of people at fuel stations went viral on social media platforms. This prompted even more worry and panicking. And these are not small states. Drivers protesting at the Gangwal bus station led to a traffic jam there in the state. Further, police had to use mild force to disperse the agitators who had stopped some buses there. By afternoon, many private and public transport vehicles, including city buses, stopped plying when the protests took place. The city corporation buses had to stop operating, fearing the safety of the vehicles and of course the people. Again, in Chhattisgarh, another big state, drivers of commercial buses and truckers on Monday stopped work. They took out protests at several places in Chhattisgarh, demanding the withdrawal of the provision in the new penal law regarding hit and run accident cases involving motorists. Now further, reports said more than 12,000 private bus drivers across the state had announced widespread protests. Now, this left hundreds of commuters stranded at bus stations in Raipur, Bilaspur, Durg and Rajnathgaon, among other cities. Additionally, reports said private bus operators have gone on strike in Haryana too, when this was reported. Auto rickshaws also said to have opened a new front to protest the new law. Now, truckers are claiming that the new law will discourage drivers from their duty. They also claim that it will prevent other people from taking up the job of driving commercial transport. Elsewhere in Himachal Pradesh, long queues at petrol pumps in Dharmashala are reported. Transport associations and drivers are also protesting the new law on the hit and run cases. Elsewhere again, similar demonstrations erupted in Lucknow. In Lucknow, transporters are said to be protesting the same hit and run case law that has been implemented by the central government. Updates say some truckers blocked National Highway 2 in West Bengal's Hooghly district in protest against the new law. In Gujarat too, the protesters blocked highways passing through Kheda, Valsad, Gir Somnath, Bharuch and Mehsana districts on Monday. Again, protesters they burned tires, leading to massive traffic jams. In West Bengal too, truck and commercial vehicle drivers blocked National Highway 2 near Dankuni, that is also in Hooghly district. The pile up at fuel stations and petrol pumps, ladies and gentlemen, they're packing. They're being jammed everywhere. Truckers, taxis and bus operators have started a nationwide strike to oppose the provision of the 7 lakh penalty and 10-year jail term for hit and run cases if they are prosecuted. This penalty has been mandated by the newly passed Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. Previously, the cases were filed under various sections of the Indian Penal Code. The punishment in the previous law was of 2 years. But now, in contrast, the new law states that drivers who cause a serious road accident by negligent driving and fleeing without informing the police or any official from the administration can face severe punishment. Now, the punishment, according to the new law, can be up to 10 years or a fine of 7 lakh rupees. And transportation feel that the law is set heavily against the truckers or the commercial transport drivers. The premise of the argument is that culpability is also always put on the larger vehicle or its driver. They are always the one who gets blamed. Further, they believe that the enforcement of the law without addressing concerns may disrupt supply chains. The commercial transporters and public transporters argue that the law was passed without consultations with the stakeholders and the truckers. The major bone of contention, however, remains the investigation process to be followed in the event of an alleged hit and run case. And in case someone is prosecuted, the truckers are fearing it will be them, because most of the time they are the only ones that gets blamed. The transporters are arguing that the legislation might be used to exploit the drivers, the truckers, who are often, according to them, unfairly accused even when they are not at fault when accidents happen. For instance, the All India Motor Transport Congress says these provisions, which have yet to come in force, can lead to undue harassment. The transport organization feels that a law must be recalled. Again, truck owners associations say that regardless of culpability or who causes the accident, it's almost always the driver of the larger vehicle who is booked or punished most of the time. One of the about 500 truck drivers who were protesting at the highway at Versailles said the new law is completely unfair. Commercial drivers suffer grievous injuries and even death in accidents, but there is no one to intervene on their behalf. That's what the protesters said. So, terming the new provisions for enhanced punishment as a black law, commercial transportation drivers say they will not load fuel or carry fruits and vegetables and supplies until the amendment is withdrawn. Again, transporters believe that the severity of the punishment is stacked too high against the drivers and the transport owners. 7 lakhs or 10 years imprisonment. For instance, oil transporting vehicles drivers say if they had 7 lakh rupees to pay for fines, they wouldn't be driving commercial vehicles. They would have bought their own vehicles and just go on with their lives. If they had that much kind of money with them, they wouldn't have to drive commercial trucks as a livelihood. That's what they're saying. While the intent of the central government's new law is to deter and prevent, and not necessarily to enforce punishment, a general study of the penalty appears to be stacked against the drivers a lot. Besides, the penalty is quite severe compared to the punishment stipulated in the previous Indian Penal Code. Thank you for watching HornbillTV, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Al. See you next time.